Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is doing wonderful and well and enjoying the start of our new fall season, which is so much better now here in Texas and hopefully in other places as well. So I was listening to a sermon a few days ago, and I love, when the faith part of me can, coincides with the professional part of me, where I teach sociology. And sometimes, more times than not, there is an overlap. I have to be mindful of that, obviously, when I'm teaching in a classroom. But for me, on a personal level, they both benefit me, and I think they aid in me being able to share certain things when I talk about being fit in your purpose. And so there's a concept that I teach about in my sociology class. If any of my former students have taken my intro to sociology class, they know we talk about the butterfly effect, right? And the butterfly effect simply is one small change can have a very big, long lasting impact later on, right? And so when I was listening to a sermon a few days ago, it was talking about the story. What is one of my favorites about Joseph, and how his raggedy brothers, threw him in a pit, and because they were jealous of him, and he was favored, and all this stuff by his dad. And fast forward, I'll skip all the middle parts of the story, but he comes out victorious, and many individuals know there's a common scripture, Genesis 50:20 rather, where it talks about, he says, you intended to harm me, but what you intended, God, intended, for it to be good. And so I was thinking about that. I was listening to that, and it made me think about the butterfly effect. And the concept of both of those it's very similar in the sense that something happened. It could be something bad. That was something bad, right? But then if we fast forward so many months, years, even decades later, hopefully there's something positive that has come about in your life. But if you go back in time, you can think back to the negative moments, right? Where it's almost like if you chose to go this way, if you'd went this way, you would have had a very different outcome, right? So in essence, they kind of go together. And I just kind of was thinking about that in reference to my life, and, thinking about some challenging, storms or trials that I've been through, and just kind of thinking about, like, well, if that didn't happen, even though as difficult as that was, this wouldn't happen. And maybe this wasn't the greatest, but it actually is not too bad. And then if that didn't happen and this didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened. And I just kind of kept thinking about that. And I was like, you know what? I love that. And that is something that, I hope that I can share and encourage others with. This whole, it's butterfly effect, spiritually, it's, good can come out of bad. As you live a life of purpose, and as you attempt to live in your purpose, challenges are going to come, trials are going to come, storms are going to come, all of those things wrapped up. Sometimes it feels like they're going to come all at one time. But if you stay the course, and if you dig deep and figure out what your purpose is, and do good, and, treat others right, and live within your purpose, I guarantee you can get to the other side and be able to have that mindset where you're like, yeah, you think back to all those moments where, you don't want to forgive people, or, you want to stay angry, or, be mad that that thing happened. But really, when you get to the other side, you can say, you intended to harm me, but God meant it for good. And they're basically the concept of that is good can come out of something negative. And I know there are things that are very difficult to even wrap our minds around, that are very difficult, and to even see what good can come out of that. But I guarantee you, if you live intentionally within your purpose, everything works together for the good. I've experienced that. I've seen others experience that. And that is something that I hope I can pass on to others. So usually I say my encouragement to you, my encouragement really is just to kind of reflect on that and think back to some of those moments where, we all have them, those moments, especially those ones where maybe you felt like somebody did something intentionally to you, and it's just like you're having a hard time forgiving them for that thing. But if you fast forward, there's that butterfly effect. If that didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened, and that wouldn't happen. And then whatever good thing you do have, because there's always something good in your life. you wouldn't be at that point and have experienced that, and this can turn into something else. So focus on it. It's a change of perspective, right? Sometimes we don't think about it like that, but I encourage you to think about it like that moving forward, and watch the blessings that come from that, because it really 100% is true. All right, I hope y'all have a wonderful week or weekend, and I will see y'all on the next video.